In this video, I'm going to focus on three powers that are unique to the United States Senate. Once again, if you see that it's in the learning objectives, it's also, I'm focusing on here. Once again, it has a high probability of being among the questions that Canvas is going to randomly select from. So make sure you've written out a really good answer on your study guide for this. So first, in terms of powers that are unique just to the Senate, meaning the House doesn't have any role in this whatsoever. First, let's talk about treaties. A treaty is an agreement between two countries, right? The president is the only one who can negotiate treaties. Maybe not the president himself. The president or somebody that the president selects can negotiate treaties. But once the president has negotiated a treaty or an agreement, they have to bring that back to the Senate, and the Senate has to approve it by a 2/3 majority. So when they talk about the Senate giving it its advice and consent, what they're basically saying is if the president wants to get a treaty not only signed, but then approved by the Senate, they're going to need to go to the Senate ahead of time and get the advice of members of the Senate. What do you think I should do? What would you vote for? What would make you not vote for something? So first they're supposed to get advice from the Senate, and then they negotiate a treaty, having listened to the advice and using their own best judgment. And once they've come up with a treaty, then they have to bring it back to the Senate, and they have to approve it by a 2/3 vote. Okay, so that's the first power unique to the Senate. The House plays no role in this whatsoever. The other thing that the Senate is involved in, that the House plays no role in, is that each time a president comes to office, there are around 2,000 to 3,000 positions that they have to fill, like different offices that need to be filled. Some of them the president can just appoint people on his or her own initiative and doesn't need approval from anybody. But there are a lot of positions that have to be approved by the Senate. Ambassadors have to be approved by the Senate. If the president is going to nominate a Supreme Court justice, if there's an opening on the Supreme Court, it has to be approved by the Senate. A federal judge, if somebody's appointed as a federal judge, it has to be approved by the Senate. So a lot of top officials, the president can nominate somebody, but then that person goes before the Senate, and they hold hearings and they ask him a bunch of questions or her a bunch of questions, and then they vote. It requires a simple majority, 50% plus one, in order to approve a nomination, and then the person gets the position, right? So the Senate has to approve nominations for top officials for when a president comes into office. Not all of them, but some of them. Like for example, some positions don't require Senate approval. The third power, and we've talked about this when we talked about the Constitution. If the House impeaches somebody, the trial takes place in the Senate. And so if you get this question, I'm going to want you to explain what happens in the Senate. So make sure you write down the process. If somebody is convicted or if somebody is impeached in the House, what happens is members of the House come over to the Senate and they present the evidence for why they believe the president should be removed from office. After they've done that, the president can send their people to say why they don't believe the president should be removed from office. The senators basically act like a jury. They don't get to, if witnesses come and testify, they don't get to grill them or anything like that. In some cases, they will allow senators to submit written questions, but for the most part, the House comes and presents its information. The president sends representatives for why he doesn't believe he or she should be removed from office, and then the Senate votes. It takes although it only takes a simple majority to impeach a president, it takes a 2/3 vote in the Senate to remove a president from office. So one last thing. Usually the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court is the one who presides over the trial. So the Chief Justice normally stays in the Supreme Court, but in this one case, they go to the Senate and they preside over the trial. They don't get to vote on whether a president should be removed from office or not. They only get to preside over the trial and make sure that everything is done fairly. I will tell you this, I didn't know this until the second time President Trump was impeached. The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court at the time, John Roberts, said that he wasn't going to do a second impeachment trial. And so the President pro tem of the Senate presided over it. Now, who's the President pro tem? That's the longest serving senator in the Senate, was the person who presided over the trial. I didn't even know that could happen. So, but that will not be on the exam. So I think what I'm going to do is although this is kind of a short video, I think I'm going to leave this here and then we'll move on to the next video. So this is going to be a relatively short video. I'm sure you won't mind.